Welcome to the first ever Sandbag Fitness Ask Me Anything. This is going to be your opportunity to ask me questions about sandbag training, general health and fitness, unconventional training, or the fitness industry. So if you have any questions or comments, please put them below or head over to the Facebook page. So question number one comes from Gabriel in Madrid. He asked, what got me started in the fitness industry in the first place? A bit of background. So I started my formal fitness and health education in 1995 in September. So we're just coming up to the 20-year mark this year, which is quite a long time compared to most of the industry. I read a statistic once that said 18 months was the average length of time for people. So that was from entering the industry to quitting, leaving completely. So in terms of a career length, it's not a huge amount of time, and there's a lot of reasons why it's a very transitional industry. But hopefully, some of the reasons that I've stayed in the industry will help you guys if you're thinking about entering the fitness industry or you're wondering why you're still in it. Hopefully, this will help. So, I guess it's a two-part answer, really. The reason that I entered and the reason that I'm still here are different things. I entered the industry because I think I was attracted by the whole lifestyle thing. I was interested in fitness. I was interested in sport. So that natural progression into the fitness industry seemed right. So I did a degree in sports science, a 3-year degree. And then after that went straight into the industry. So that was kind of what attracted me. The reason I'm still here is not that. I'm not still in the industry because I like, my regular fitness sessions. I do, I still love them, but that's not what keeps me motivated. I think the main motivation now, and it has been probably very soon after I entered the industry, I quickly realized that me liking fitness and me liking sport were not going to make me a successful coach. The reason I think I'm still here is essentially that I like helping people. I like that coaching process, so taking someone from being in a certain position, a certain distance away from their goals, and then moving them along that spectrum, getting them closer to their end goal, their long-term result. I think that is the most motivational thing as a professional, to see that happening, and I still get excited about it now. Training people face-to-face, or even getting an email from someone saying that they've read an article or followed a workout that I suggested, and then sending me an email from wherever on the planet and saying, I achieved this because of what you said. And it's not an ego thing. Like I never think, I did that. But as a coach, like to just be getting those stories from people all of the time, I think if you're not rewarded by that, if you don't enjoy that process, if you don't get excited by hearing from that one person say that you helped them, there's very little chance for you making it past the 1-year mark, 2-year mark. It's not going to happen. So I think for new industry professionals or people thinking about entering the fitness industry, I think you need to have that, that interest in helping other people. I think it's really important. Without the skills to be able to help those people, things fall flat. You can want to help people with all the will in the world, but if you don't have the ability to be able to do that, then things aren't going to work for you either. But I think on a base level, that ethos of being able to help people, wanting to help people, is got to be the number one thing that you aim for. And that really, I suppose it dictated my decisions, where I went from being predominantly a face-to-face coach and a pretty successful face-to-face coach, sometimes doing 50 hours a week of coaching in a commercial fitness environment. Stepping down from that, generally speaking, in around about 2008 and deciding to do more stuff online. Unlike a lot of coaches, that wasn't really a decision based on I want to work less and make more money. That wasn't really what it was about. For me, it was about, okay, I've got this skill set, but I can only coach so many people face to face. You can do group sessions, whatever you want to do, there's a limit. So really for me, it was a decision about scalability. how can I take my skill set, reach more people, help more people, and you know, have this global platform, I suppose, to be able to do that. So when I started the Sandbag Fitness blog in 2010, that was a decision purely motivated by being able to get my message out to more people. And it's something that, you know, I don't like to say this has worked for me, so you should do it this way. But I think having a blog, having an online presence for even brand new fitness professionals is an important thing to do. It will help you, I think, just cement, conceptualize your ideas, get them out there, get some feedback, which is really important. The best thing about being online is that you get feedback from all around the world. Feedback that people wouldn't give you to your face, and sometimes that's a pretty useful thing. And I think it's, even for new fitness professionals who perhaps they're still formulating their ideas and they're probably only just taking ideas from different sources that they're learning from, I still think it's incredibly important. Despite not having the advanced technical knowledge that some more experienced coaches might have, you still have ideas. And your ideas may well be just as valid as anyone else's ideas. And it's important, I think, if you're thinking about going from face-to-face coaching to doing more online stuff, what you think your value is to the rest of the world quite possibly is different to what they think. Sometimes you second guess the value of a blog post or some advice that you might give someone. And I think because you're going from this face-to-face market, which is very, very narrow, very broad, if you are going online, what you'll realize is that there's a market for anything. There's a market for coaches that really don't know what they're doing, but are just really friendly. It sounds completely stupid, but there's a huge number of examples like that. You'll have the whole USP, unique selling proposition, unique selling point, is a bit of a cliche, but it's true in the sense that there's a market for everyone. If you're just working locally in your local fitness club or in your town, your USP probably won't be highlighted very effectively. But once you start going online, once you start a blog, you'll quickly find that there are people out there that are interested in what you have to say. That combined with a desire to help people and always looking to improve your technical knowledge and your general kind of base skill set, I think is one thing that will make you a very successful fitness professional. So it's a fairly long-winded answer, but yeah, I think it's a fantastic industry for people as long as they have that ethos in place. You've got to be an honest, hard-working person who likes helping people. Okay, question number 2 comes from Dave from the US, and this was on our Facebook page. Now, he said, I do lots of bodyweight strength training already. Do I need to add in any additional sandbag training to my program? It's an interesting question. I think these kind of do you need to do X, Y, and Z questions are always fraught with difficulties in answering. And I think the industry as a whole, the fitness industry, is definitely guilty of saying, you have to do this. If you're not doing this, things are going to go wrong. If you're a runner, you need to be doing strength training. If you're a strength athlete, you need to be doing flexibility. While I think there's a lot of merit in a lot of these things, I think typically what it does produce is lots of people going around in circles, chasing their tail, not really sticking to anything for any length of time. So I think when it comes to asking yourself those questions, do I need to be doing this? You need to think about it carefully and not just do it because it's on the cover of some fitness magazine or you've seen it in a blog. Try things out. If it works for you, then great, stick at it. I think in terms of adding in, as a bodyweight person, if you're doing lots of bodyweight work, adding in work where you're lifting external loads, so sandbags, barbells, dumbbells, whatever they might be, I think is important. Because daily life, generally, you're controlling your body weight, you're moving, doing different things, but you're also lifting other things, picking people up, picking stuff up, boxes. These things are important. I think if your job involves manual handling of any kind of nature, or your sport involves that, then bodyweight training reaches a certain plateau, I think there needs to be something where you are lifting some external load. Now, for bodyweight people, what I typically find is that if you're into your calisthenics type things, you like to train outdoors, you don't really like the gym environment, and that's just something that I've noticed in the past 20 years. So sandbag training is a great option for those people because you can get a sandbag, you can do it at home, you can do it in your bedroom. You don't have to go to a particular facility to be able to do that. So I think in that sense, it's a really, I suppose it's a common sense option for bodyweight training. And the other thing about sandbag training is, although you're not necessarily doing these multi-planar movements, you don't have to be doing everything where you're moving side to side or rotating or moving backwards and forwards. You don't necessarily need all of those movement patterns in every exercise that you're doing. Because the sandbag wants to move three-dimensionally, what you'll find is that when you're lifting it, you have to control against those forces. So it's like multiplanar stress, not necessarily multiplanar movement all the time, but definitely multiplanar stress. And I think for bodyweight training, you're getting lots of those kind of things anyway. Doing handstand press-ups, that multiplanar stress is pretty big, especially laterally. So I think it's a really useful addition for those kind of things. And plus, although I love barbell training, I appreciate that getting people who love bodyweight training to do squats and deadlifts, big 1 rep max things, is a difficult ask. So I think sandbag training is a nice accompaniment to those kind of things. Okay, our third and final question this week is from Martin in the UK. Martin's an MMA fighter. He said he's been following some of the programs in my second book, which was Sandbag Training for MMA and Combat Sports. He's been seeing some really good results, but he felt like it was sometimes affecting his skills training, so like his jiu-jitsu or his striking training. And should he cut back on the strength conditioning element of his programming? Now, I think it's an interesting thing, strength conditioning for sports. What's more important? Should you focus on your skill work? Should you focus on your fitness work? I always err towards skill work in general. Getting better at your sport is more important than improving your general fitness. General fitness gives you that base to be able to then train harder at the skills work. I think that's an important process to go through. You can be incredibly fit, but just not be very good. And you can't avoid that kind of thing. And very fit people, very strong people, they can excel in their sport, but there's a limit. Someone who's very fit and strong and very skilled is always going to be the leader of the pack in those situations. So I think that's a good thing. Look at building a base level of strength, perhaps in your off season if you have an off season. So build that base level of strength and fitness then, and use that really as a conduit to being able to train harder in that skill-specific stuff. If you're training strength conditioning and it is at the expense of being able to actually develop skills and improve skills, you've probably got things a little bit backwards. So in that particular situation, I would advise just scaling back on the fitness work, prioritizing the skill work, and then seeing it as really an additional thing, an add-on, a way for you to propel your skill work even further. Okay, thanks for watching. Again, if you've got any questions or comments, pop them below or head over to the Facebook page and put them in the comments there. Thanks for watching.